Sleeping Beauty, Aurora's homemade holiday. One snowy December day, Princess Aurora and Prince Philip went for a stroll. The princess was very quiet. "Is something the matter?" asked Philip. "My aunts and I used to love getting ready for Christmas," she replied. The fairies Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather had secretly raised Aurora to keep her safe from an evil fairy. So she thought all of them as her aunts. "Let's invite them for the holidays," Philip said. "What a splendid idea!" cried Aurora. That afternoon, Aurora and Philip found a large fir tree to bring back to the castle to decorate. As they rode through a curtain of lacy snowflakes, Aurora sang a carol. "That's the Christmas spirit," Philip exclaimed. Prince Philip sent an invitation to Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather. Then he set off on a short trip to attend to some royal duties. Aurora didn't mind. Now her special Christmas preparations would be a surprise for Philip when he returned. When the three good fairies arrived, the princess made her special request. "You want a Christmas exactly like the ones we shared at the cottage?" Flora asked. "That means we can't use magic." "You'd better take our wands so we are not tempted to use them," Fauna said to Aurora. The wands were hard to catch. They did not like the idea of being put away. "Shall we decorate?" asked Aurora. She led the fairies to baskets of evergreen branches, ornaments, and boughs. "Let's start trimming the tree," exclaimed Merryweather. "We should hang the evergreen branches first," Fauna said. Waiting for her two aunts to agree could take all day. So Aurora suggested that she and Flora put up the branches, while Fauna and Merryweather decorated the tree. After a busy morning, the last stocking was finally hung above the fireplace. Aurora and the fairies began baking. "I can't wait until Philip tastes your special layer cake," said Aurora, "and the rolls with jam inside." "We'll need lots of red frosting," Flora announced. "Green frosting, it's prettier," said Merryweather. "We'll use both," Aurora declared. The next day, it was time to think about gifts. "I want to give Philip a homemade present," Aurora said. "But what?" "How about a shirt?" Flora suggested. "I don't know how to sew," the princess replied. "We'll show you how," Merryweather said. Aurora and the fairies spent the day sewing. As Aurora worked on her present for Philip, she began to smile. "Do you remember the stockings you made when I was a little girl?" she asked. "Of course," said Flora. "We forgot to stitch up the bottoms and the gifts fell out." You'd say, "Look, her stocking is empty. We'd better fill it up with more treats," Aurora said. She laughed along with the fairies as they shared their happy memory. "Oh dear," said the princess when she looked down at her sewing. "This shirt isn't looking quite right." Her aunts quickly set aside their projects to help Aurora. When the preparations were finished, the fairies helped Aurora to get ready. Prince Philip would soon be home. They made the wreath of holly for her hair. Flora suggested a red dress. Meriwether preferred the blue one. Then Fauna held up a beautiful purple gown. It was perfect. Flora and Meriwether had to admit that the dress looked lovely on the princess. The last thing Aurora had to do was wrap the prince's gift. Once again, she asked for the fairies' help. When they were finished, the princess placed the present under the tree. Prince Philip arrived back at the castle that afternoon. "Close your eyes," Aurora said, "and don't open them until I tell you to do so." She led Philip into the grand hall where the fairies were waiting. "Ready," Aurora announced. Philip looked around. Crooked rats dangled from the walls. The Christmas tree was decorated only on one side. Loop-sided cakes, burnt tarts, and misshapen cookies filled the table. "I've never seen preparations like this before," Philip said politely. "I can understand why you find them so special." "Try a lemon tart," said Aurora, holding out a plate to the prince. Philip took a bite, and suddenly there was a strange look on his face. "Oh dear," Fauna said. "We must have forgotten to put in the sugar." Aurora handed Philip his gift. "One more surprise." "A shirt," said the prince, opening the box. He put on his present, and the princess and the fairies burst into laughter. Oh dear, that's certainly not the right size, Aurora said. Nonsense, Philip insisted. It's a perfect fit. Just like you and me, Aurora said to her prince. Sharing a homemade holiday with Philip and her aunts had made it the best Christmas Aurora could remember. The end.